everyone. A very warm good morning to you all. Today, with a small hope and never-ending determination to challenge ourselves to take a long, hard look inwards, ask the question that matters, and do things that can bring in the real change. I welcome you all to the beautiful campus of this prestigious institute. And I'm indeed elated to see such a large turnout, representing a dozen of universities and institutes. We all know that we have gathered here to start the awaited international course on liberatory animal science. But it is not just a beginning of a course. It is a small step that could be a huge beginning towards a journey that may work towards reducing the pain, stress, discomfort to the animals that we use in our research. The colossal use and inescapable necessity of animals in research is evident from the fact that 85% of the Nobel Prize winners who has given their contribution in the field of health, medicine, or other scientific fields carry out researches that are animal-based. The reliability and relevance of a scientific procedure cannot be directly tested on humans, but we humans can adopt strategies that can reduce the pains that is caused to these animals. The pace set today can only get faster and things can only become better if we decide that we will change the attitude we treat animals. With this note, I would also like to take the opportunity to thank our honorable speakers. All of them have been working with us since the beginning of this course, and all of them are present here today. We really appreciate your dedication. I hope that everyone would take the result of this course to develop a system that would ensure ethical treatment of animals. Finally, I wish you all 2 fruitful weeks of interesting and beneficial program and a very pleasant stay here in Delhi. I warmly welcome you all again. Now, let us move forward with Abha Bajaj.
Thank you very much, Rangoli. A very warm good morning to all of you. Heading forward with the program, I heartily invite our Honorable Director, Sir, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, to please come on stage and welcome our guest. And I would also like to congratulate Dr. Gokhale that he has received the prestigious award, Infosys Award. Thank you, sir.
Well, it's my great pleasure to invite you all and have you all on this fantastic conference that's on laboratory animal sciences. Let me first welcome our CPCA Joint Secretary, Shri Sujit Singh ji, who's taken some time and actually this morning and being here. Actually, I think it's wonderful to have you here. I can tell you that you will be delighted to be associated with this organization with the amount of enthusiasm and passion we have to actually do our science and also to take care of doing good science. Actually, we also welcome people from our Netherlands friends who have come all the way and who are the one partnering this wonderful international course. And I'm sure this is just the beginning. You will enjoy things happen here and the fantastic weather you are right now in November is probably the best time to be in Delhi. So I'm sure you will see a lot of good things around and go back with great memories, actually. I also have other colleagues, various places from Delhi and others in and around India, actually, who all are here and all who are going to be participating in this. I think you'll find this a unique workshop, actually, where a lot of interesting ideas and thought processes have been put together on how to really make animal physiological models a really wonderful place to work with, actually. And I think it's increasingly more important as we're starting to look at genomics and we're starting to understand how biology has complex variability. How can we learn to integrate them? And I keep saying that the human body or an animal body has learned to integrate various parameters to give physiological parameters on which the whole phenome is based on, actually. And unless we learn to do that, I don't think we can get rid of animals from our research as of now, actually. So maybe at least 10 years of intense animal work may actually help us to build computational models where you can eventually start to replace them partially to actually gather information as you go along. And I think that's a fantastic challenge we have actually in future to go is, can we build, for example, I keep thinking about, can we build a synthetic human in a computer as we move along such that we don't have to use animals for maybe some of the important processes. And I'm sure that's where the thought process is on for many of us. And I think it's, as we all look at how the science is progressing with the rapid pace actually, and the way we actually tend to handle is, it's very interesting. Animals initially thought to be almost mandatory to do some things have started to be replaced by how other areas of work. So I still remember the kind of some dissections that I did very early in my schools actually. Although I thought it was exciting, but I wasn't sure what I was doing actually, I can tell you at that time. And this is like, I can't remember, about 10th standard or something when I did biology for a while, and we had this interesting dissections, and it was very curious to see what is up there. Of course, what has now happened is that graphics have actually changed the biology, the way you can look at it now. So you can almost see and almost believe. I don't know, if some of you were here on a workshop that we had last week actually, and there was somebody had a wonderful way of projecting from US, and you could almost feel like you can almost hug a person from here actually, and the kind of capabilities they had in trying to put it was beautiful. So this graphics is making life very easy actually, and very confident for us to do. So I think it's a great opportunity of how to bring in two things together such that you then generate an era where you actually can balance everything out. And that's what is the reality, and that's what we totally believe in at Genomics Institute, is that one needs to understand the power of technology that's emerging from various areas. And you will see even in clinical practices or in animal practices, the technologies will actually become far and far better. And then how you can go on using the animal models where required to actually be able to do this work. So I'm sure this course would achieve all its wonderful targets of learning how to use animals, but also learning of how to use information that we embed here for your futuristic goal of how minimizing it actually. So again, thank you for giving me an opportunity here for talking to you briefly and just sharing with what I think could be a future way of doing science. And again, welcome you all and have a good time here.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to welcome respected Shri Surjit Singh, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, and Vice Chairman, CPCSCA, to address our guests and participants.
Dr. Gokhale, friends from Netherlands, colleagues sitting in the audience, and the participants, a very good morning to you. It gives me great pleasure to address you today on the occasion of beginning of this international course on laboratory animal science. The course has been organized by IGIB in collaboration with National Institute of Animal Welfare, Utrecht University of Netherlands, and CPCSCA. There is no denying the fact that the humans share this planet with other species and forms of life. All forms of life coexist with an interdependent ecosystem. We in India have rich ethos and traditions of ahimsa, love and compassion for animals. Animals in this country have been traditionally loved and even worshipped for centuries. We also know the importance of animals in our life. Indian Constitution, while deliberating upon the fundamental duties of the citizens in Article 51AG, lays down that, quote, it shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for all living creatures. And you have been looking at this slide since morning that Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, had remarked that the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. CPCSCA is actively supporting this training program, it is really heartening to note that in this training program, participants have come from far-off places like Kolkata, Mizoram, Andhra Pradesh, Pune, Mangalore, and so on. This is an indication about the level of awareness towards the subject. There is no denying the fact that tremendous contribution has been made by the animals used in scientific experimentation and research, be it the pharmaceutical industry, biomedical sciences, production of life-saving sera and vaccines, and perfecting surgical techniques that have saved millions of human lives. Notwithstanding the rich payoffs from the animal experimentation, animals have undergone stress, pain, and suffering. There is a need to have a holistic view of use of animals for scientific experimentation and exploring alternative methods offered by new biotechnology techniques. We have to be considerate and judicious so as to refine our experiments on animals and make their restrictive use in scientific research and experiments. The most important aspect would be to take proper care of animals under experimentation and ensure that they are subject to least pain and suffering is caused to them. I appreciate the effort of a galaxy of trainers who have come all the way from Europe to share their rich experience in laboratory animal science with us. I am sure this will go a long way in sensitizing the users of experimental animals to make judicious use of them. I am also sure that after this 2 weeks training program, even if not all, but we will have another 10 to 15 trainers who will be able to train in our next training courses. And I'm thankful to the organizer for training this program, and I will like to say about Mr. Vijay Pal Singh. About a month back, when I was coming back along with my staff from the National Institute of Animal Welfare, I was told that this institute, Dr. Vijay Pal Singh from this institute wants to see me in office. So I told them that we are on the way and we should come here and see him. So we came here. He was so excited that he started that training program thinking that we have come here for training. So he started that lecture here. I told him that we are not for this purpose, only we are there for for organizing the program. So I wish the program a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to request Dr. Anurag Agarwal to please come on stage and tell us about this course.
So I'll take care while telling you about this course not to stand in the way of the course actually starting. So you heard three very interesting parts. Rangoli talked about how the majority of Nobel laureates in medicine and physiology have worked on animals. That shows you how important animal research is. Dr. Gokhale talked about how with emerging technologies, it might be not so far from now that we can replace a lot of animal experiments with in silico experiments. And Shri Sujit Singh Ji talked about probably one of the most important parts of this course, compassion and humane treatment of animals, which brings into issue the morality of animal experimentation. And lastly, he touched upon something that's as important to this course as anything else, the sheer enthusiasm of Vijay. So which I think is probably all of you who know him already know this, but without this course would not have been possible. But quickly touching on the first one, which was the fact that animal use has been extremely beneficial to us. I don't know how many of you realize that apart from most of your drugs, most of your surgical procedures, most of physiological things, pacemaking, transplants, dialysis, mechanical ventilation, everything was perfected in animals. In this institute, we often talk sometimes about, the use of animal research versus in silico models. But in silico models require one thing. One, you must know the parts, then you must know how the parts fit together. And while we'll have some sessions on how this might be possible in some circumstances, do realize that an entire living organism, we don't know the parts. Forget about the interactions. We probably don't even know the parts for tissues. When it comes down to a single cell level, we start knowing the majority of the parts, but we don't know how they go together. So I think for the foreseeable future, animal research is here to stay. The question is it humane to use animals? And I think that's a type of question that will find a variety of responses. I have friends here in this audience who don't drink milk. They think the act of taking the milk from a cow who's supposed to give this to the calf is inhumane. I have friends who want their lobster fresh, which basically means boiled alive. So within this divergent spectrum of opinions of the society, the only thing we can take recourse to is the consensus, embodied in the form of law. And within that, there are only three tenets: appropriateness, rationality, and humaneness. As long as these three tenets are met in animal research, it's worthwhile, and almost by definition of the law, it's moral, and that's the only way it can be done. When I was in training, we really didn't pay that much attention to all these things, and I'm not even that old. Well, they did in the US, they didn't in India at the time I was in training. But now we recognize it's not only a question of benefit to the animal, it's a question of benefit to your own research. If you don't conduct experiments while keeping these three things in mind, you will come up with bad data. So it's not just for the protection of animals, it's protection of you from yourself. We are talking about the cruel tendencies of humans. We want to talk about, people have a tendency to take shortcuts. If you can keep the animal in a small cage in your own room, just take him out whenever you want. Many people have done research that way. You want to say that we want to use the most simple conditions with no drugs, no anesthesia, because that complicates my experiment. You forget, so does pain. So does lack of standardization. So reality is, appropriateness is about, is there value coming out of what you're proposing to do? Does your experiment have any scientific meaning to start with? Are you going to learn something that will benefit humanity? If there isn't, your research and your animal usage is not appropriate. Second is rationality. Is your experimental design correct? At the end of doing all the experiments you're going to be doing, will you conclude anything? If you're not going to conclude anything, even if you were to use only 3 animals, that's worthless. It should not be permitted. And if what you're doing is scientifically well done, then any amount of animal usage up to the minimum number required to reach the amount that you need to do is correct. That optimizes the use of resources. An animal house is not free. Even the usage of animal beyond humaneness is not free. Just like you try to optimize the use of chemical reagents in your lab, realize there's a value to everything that you use. Use the right number of animals. How do you know the right number? Depends on your design, depends on the standard deviation, depends on the effect size you're about to see. We'll talk more about that. And last, humaneness. The word humane is almost part of the word human, although not humans are humane. That's a fact of life. But the point is, why inflict any more suffering than is required to achieve the aims that you have? Not only will a humane way of doing experiments give you personal satisfaction in terms of minimizing the suffering in this world, and animals are a part of the sentient world of this earth, but also you will end up with a very standardized experimental plan. You will treat every animal in the same way with the same methodology. That will reduce the variant. And variation is basically the enemy of experimental science. So all these tenets will come together over the next couple of weeks. Different people will speak on different aspects. And I look forward to both teaching as well as learning more over the span of this conference. And last again, thank you, Dr. Vijay, for your enthusiasm.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening the significance behind this course. I'm extremely glad to welcome all the dear members of Holland team here at IGIB, Professor Vera Bowmans, Dr. Mayer, Mr. Prem Romans, and Dr. Harry Blom. All they have given their great contribution in the field of welfare of laboratory animals and related issues. Now I would like to welcome Professor Vera Bowmans on stage and to give the brief about the significance behind this course. Please, ma'am.
very much. Good morning to you all. Namaste. My colleagues, Harry Blom, Pim Roymans, Jan Meijer and I, we are very glad to be here and to participate in this first Laboratory Animal Science course in India, which is in collaboration with our Utrecht University in the Netherlands. It is a great achievement, we think, in the education and training of scientists who are working with animals or are going to do so. Education and training in laboratory animal science is of utmost importance in biomedical research, as well for the welfare of the animals, as for the quality of research. And it has already been said, this goes hand in hand. As only happy animals can make good science, meaning that scientists only can get valid results from animals which are healthy, not only physically, but also mentally. You cannot expect good results from a stressed animal, for instance. And also, in this education and training, it's very important to focus on the building of an attitude towards animal experimentation. We should really think about what we are doing. We should be aware of what we do to the animals in order to make, as he said before, humane science. So Dr. Vijay Pal Singh made a lot of effort together with his co-workers to establish this course. And we all will work very hard these 2 weeks to make this course a success. And it's also very important to keep this course in the future and to maintain the good standards which has been set. And for that reason, we really do hope that this course can be repeated on a regular basis. For instance, in collaboration maybe with other places in India or with other Asian countries. And that, for us, that would be really fantastic, I think. And we thought it would be appropriate to express our Holland-India connection. And for that reason, we brought you a typical Dutch gift, tulips. We are famous for our tulips. So we brought for you some tulips. Thank you very much. I wish you all a very good course and very good luck in the future. So. And I do hope the course will stay forever, as these tulips might. This course will be full of surprises.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this beautiful gift and for coming here and making this beginning successful. And I wish we would all have a wonderful experience all together at IGIB. Now, I would like to express my great gratitude to Ms. Geethanjali M., Director, Animal Welfare, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India, for her appreciable presence and support for this course. Thank you, ma'am. It's my honor to invite Dr. Vijaypal Singh on stage, who has been the principal driving force behind this wonderful course. Please, sir, welcome.
So good morning, everybody. So in 2010, when I applied for the course in Utrecht, myself and my director have asked why you want to go for training program. I said, sir, after undergoing this program, I will change IGIB, and not only IGIB, I will try to change the places where the all course is going on. And with that in mind, this course is being designed in such a way that there will not be too much of PPTs. There will not be too much of knowledge, but change of attitudes towards animal. So from the next start of this course, we will be starting working with animal in real. So that is the fundamental basic difference with this course, that it was not very long ago that we were believing that 1 day old child or just born child need anesthesia. So it was not known. But through the different scientific research, it was found out, though they cannot express, but they feel pain. In same way, sometime we take the clip of the tail, sometime with the clip of the hairs for genotyping and whatsoever, we don't give anesthesia. Do we really know that they feel pain or not? Do we really know the signs of the pain? Do we really know what are the parameters to detect and alleviate the pain and suffering? In this course, we will try to delineate that what is painful, what is suffering, what is mental suffering, not physical one. Because sometimes outside you will look simple mouse, white mouse is really good one. But from internal, they know to the true mouse which we are trying to. And also it was not very long ago then when we used to feel that everything is controlled by heart, not the brain. Recently we discovered that it is not only controlled by heart, but it is by brain. So these developments keeps on changing. And these things we want to incorporate lately what is happening into laboratory animal science into this one. Also, we will be focusing much on de-learning. Not learning, but de-learning. What are the different technique and procedure that we have learned in our way from different unauthorized sources, and we are keep on continuing this one. We want to de-learn them. So our focus will also be in the de-learning, in different experimental procedure, different experimental planning, different experimental design, and writing of the protocol. That will be also the emphasis of this one. As you know that we are using animal in proxy to the humans. We cannot use humans, so we are using animals. So until unless we really know that about biology of animal, about the feeling of the animal, about the evolution of the animal, it is very difficult that whatever we do in our animal, we can translate to the humans. As said by Dr. Anurag Agarwal, if we are using 3 animals for experimentation, usually this is a tendency in our country, somebody will say, "Arey Dr. Sahab, 2 चूहे दे देना, थोड़ा सा देखना है." That 2 चूहा देना means is a waste of चूहा and waste of your reagents and waste of your time. So, until as there is a proper design, until as there is a proper system that you have come up, it is a waste of experimentation. And second thing, what I don't understand really is that we are investing too much in reagents, too much in very complicated things we bring. But when it comes to the animal, we start compromising. So this, after undergoing this course, I think you will understand it is really important to have the very good animal for your research. Then only you can give reproducible data. And in these 2 weeks, we make sure that you understand every aspect of laboratory animal science with the team from the Holland. At last, I would like to say that this course would have not been possible without the help from the IGIB and without the help of the team from the Holland, and particularly it started with actually Pim Bowmans. He is the person, when I organized the course in IGIB, I used to write mail to him, frantic mail, "Okay, Pim, I have got this problem, can you help me?" Within I think 5 minutes he will write a mail and explain everything. Then Professor Vera Bowmans is the principal engineering force for getting all the funding from abroad, and also we had many bumpy rides in between through international, our collaborator, and many organized this course, but we overcome. Also, the help from the IGIB. So this campus is really beautiful campus, and beauty of this campus is that when you come to IGIB, you feel young. So I'm very old person, but I'm very young here. So you feel always excited. Academic environment is very charging, and you will feel that yes, in 14 days, your age is bit reduced and you are younger, and you are of course enriched with the knowledge. And we will try to do that one. And of course, I will not end without the smile of IGIBNs, smile of Dr. Bina Pillai. Whenever I'm in problem, yesterday only, I was calling her, she was somewhere in the Karnal, not picking up the phone. I called her husband, we have to fix these things, and ultimately I could go through. Smile of my director, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale. Whenever I take papers to him, so I will not show the paper. I will ask, say something, he will smile. Smile means approved. And then I pass on the paper, okay, sir, thoda sa sign kar do. Done it is. And also our director cadre scientist, Dr. Balram Ghosh. Whenever some complicated things are not there, Dr. Gokhale is not there, so we approach our sir, Dr. Balram Ghosh, and he's always put the signature without much query. And that is how this course have come up in between. This means, because we have to take many approvals from ministries, CSR, this, that, and all. So also the many people who have helped directly or indirectly in this course, like Joint Secretary CPCSA, Sri Surjit Singh ji. Very open-minded, outgoing person. He's also like, fortunately our director in IJB, he will say, okay, don't go to the technicality, go ahead with this one. Director Srimati Gitanjali M, through the phone and everything, we are keeping everything going on. Anjani Kumar ji is not here. Dr. Bina Pillai already mentioned. And team IGIB as such, Rakesh Kapoor ji as our treasurer, Kirshan Singh Chauhan, senior security officer, and Vikas Chopra, who is all the time running here and there, getting all this printing and all these things. Aba Bajaj, Rangoli Agarwal, and many other whom I cannot name, and maybe I will miss. So this is basically Team IGIB and Team Animal Facility. There are various attendants who are there, like Suklaji, Rajesh, Sandeep, Vipin, Dheeraj. For 3-4 days we are here only. We have not gone to the home. And of course, last to my beloved wife, who is missing my presence since last 2 months. And all the time she is saying, Kya ho raha hai? I don't know what you are doing. I hope she could have been here, but she is not here. So maybe through the videos or something, I will explain that we have done a good job. So thank you all. Thank you all. Our team, and we are here to make this course a success. Don't feel any kind of inhibition. Our course will start now, and the course venue is Workshop 1 and Animal Facility. So I invite all of you to join us into the podium for a high tea. And after high tea, all participants are requested to come to the Workshop 1 for the start of course. Thank you very much, and I'm very sorry if something have happened and I've missed the name of somebody, or something might have gone into you, participant like guest house, some management or mismanagement, whatever. So thank you very much for coming, and wish you all the best of luck and enjoy the course. Thank you.